Hey, we're the Huge Movie Fanatics here to give our final current American Pie review.
Until they do American...
American Parents.
American, well, kind of already parents. American Old Folks Home or something.
Yeah. We have American Reunion, the last current of the American Pie
current,
series. And I got excited for this because I've been, like, I grew up in the age group that the first three movies were intended to be, so like I kind of got excited just because like they're not great movies, but they're very entertaining at the very least.
Somewhat, yeah.
So I was excited to see what they did, and they got the whole first cast back again, and it's like awesome. So yeah, I was excited. I went to the theater opening day, saw it with the fiance. Who also is a fan of the series, and she, like you, hadn't seen the third one, so she wanted to make sure she watched the third one, and she's like, I gotta know if they get married or not before I see the... I'm like, you see in the trailer that they...
Wedding,
you see in the trailer that they have a child, and she's like... I suppose. But one would assume. But anyway, so we saw American... we watched all three right before we saw the fourth one. And that may have been a little bit of a mistake, just because the quality in this one, it's written by a different person than who wrote the first one. It's written by two brothers who had no involvement with the first three movies.
Oh.
And that seemed kind of obvious to me. They took the first movie as the template of like how to build the American Pie story, and they sort of seemed to follow that. But their style of comedy seemed to be a little less good or up my alley.
Why didn't the original writers do it?
I don't know why he didn't come back. He's a producer in the movie, but I don't know if they just put his name in producer because he created the characters or what. I don't have the DVD or Blu-ray yet, so I don't know much about this one. Outside of Jason Biggs and Sean William Scott were
they're executive.
They were the reason this movie came to exist. They wanted to go back. They apparently have been wanting to make American Parents since shortly after the third one came out. But then their careers just sort of went in different directions, and nobody was able to do it at one point until this one. And so it got made, and like I said with the third one, I guess it's serviceable. It's serviceable. I like where they take the Jim and Michelle characters. Again, that's the storyline that I really like. And you got fucking Oz back, and you got Oz and Heather.
Yeah.
They split them up, which that bugged me. But anyway,
what do you mean they split them up?
Like they weren't together. Like
they weren't together.
And they have like the movie does weird things with the characters. I actually like what they did with Kevin. Just have him be a married guy. He's just like that. That's just what
boring.
Yeah, he's just sort of like that's sort of what happens after high school. Like some people they grow up, they get married, they're doing their work stuff. They're not really all that interesting anymore. Kind of thing. Like, and he finally let the past go, and I like that. And I like what they did with Jason Biggs' character and all that stuff. Kevin, it was nice seeing, or not Kevin, Oz. It was nice seeing him back, but they made him like a superstar or a Dancing with the Stars guy, which I was like, really? Like that kind of hurt me.
But
I mean,
they
it seems
parodied
somewhat
it.
in
I
character.
thought it was fine because it was parodied. I mean, it was parodied. The way it was done, it wasn't like serious. And even when he was watching the DVD, he's got the same reaction you have on your face right now. So by doing that, I thought it was okay. And if you're young and you're in shape and stuff, I mean, you might, if you have a chance to do something dumb, people have done it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a problem with that.
Then the Finch character, they turned into a criminal for whatever reason.
I thought that was realistic because, that was one thing I didn't like about the movie, where everyone's got like this quote unquote successful job, and I thought that was a little bullshit and a little unrealistic. And then when we find out that Finch actually is just a bum, I'm like, there you go. Because that's real.
Yeah.
So I actually like that. It really pissed me off at the very beginning when everyone's at their office and everyone's in their cubicle and everyone's, a millionaire. I mean, Oz is kind of well off looking, and that bugs me because that's not how life is. So when we learn that Finch, is a loser,
Yeah.
That, I actually respected that choice a lot.
I liked that idea of it. I just didn't understand why they made him a criminal and lying and wanted by the police and all that stuff. Like, that was just.
Well,
kinda
people
like,
do that. I mean, people are in denial. I mean, criminals.
Yeah, I
I mean, they're in
suppose.
they're lying to
But-
themselves all the time. That's how they live.
I suppose I just felt that was a little out of character. And then
That's
the other
fine.
thing is like they had a good setup with Stifler, just being somebody who sort of like Kevin was stuck in the past. He wants that there, but I would have liked it better. And they showed it in the previews, but they made it really misleading. I wanted him to be like he's just an office worker. He was this high school dick, and I wanted him to just be a guy in a cubicle, not an assistant. Not, like they went in a weird direction with it. Like, I think it would have been
What did
better.
you want him to be?
I wanted him to be just sort of a guy in a cubicle who, the moment that the idea of a reunion comes back, like, he wants to be the old Stifler
That
again.
excites them to be excited.
Not just have him be the old Stifler throughout the whole thing.
Oh.
Like I wanted him to have grown
that
up.
might have been a
and
good
then-
idea, but
And then, like, got really excited until until he basically realized that nobody liked that out of him.
that might have been a good idea to actually have. But you can also understand going to see an American Pie movie and having Stifler introduced, just being like the Stiflerness is gone, and it's just like, well, what's wrong with him? You know, did he get a lobotomy? So, but I can understand how that might be a good point where he's just, you know, you mean just daily humdrum life.
Yeah, and then, like,
all
I mean,
the
you see
youth
them,
is just
all
sucked
the
out of him.
trailers where he's like, everybody just grew up and had jobs and got married and had kids, and what are we back for? Like, I mean, that was in, like, all of the trailers, and I was like, oh, great, so Stifler actually did something with his life. Like, they sort of showed in the third one that he was, like, coach.
Oh, I
and
actually liked
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Because it showed that it was just very much in the background.
Yeah.
But it showed that he was
He was
doing something.
Yeah. And it seemed like he completely lost that in this, and he was still stuck at home. And I mean, that does happen to some extent, but at the same time, like, I don't know, I would have liked that he'd actually had a job or something.
One
like
of the things, actually going back and seeing 1 and 2 again, that I really wish he could have done, I don't know why, from 4, is had his little brother. Where,
Yeah, I
you
know, his brother is.
Because he would have been, you know.
He's the central character in American Pie Presents Bandcamp, and which is the best of the straight-to-DVD ones. That's the one that's
So-
almost American Pie.
That would have been.
That would have been. I was
Great.
kind of missing that too.
And also something that I thought was really dumb is on the Blu-ray box, that lesbian is on the cover, and it says she's in the movie for 30 seconds.
Same thing with like Nadia. I
She's
was
not on the
like,
cover.
no, but like Nadia's in the movie for like 30
I
seconds.
thought,
was hoping.
well, to actually have her back at all was stupid. I thought, because you don't go. I don't know how it works. I don't know if you do or
I
not.
would
But
imagine that she would.
she wouldn't
travel
fly
across
across the
continent,
country,
yeah.
across the ocean to go to a reunion anyway. So I thought, I don't know.
Especially
I thought,
when she didn't even graduate. She ended up leaving early. They say in the first one
Yeah.
they pulled her out of school after the incident. But anyway, whatever.
to have her back for that quick bit, I thought was stupid.
Yeah, I did like that she got a guy that looks a lot like Jim. I thought that was a
Yeah,
little
that's
funny.
funny.
But
One thing, go ahead.
oh, I liked the play where Stifler gets Finch's mom. I thought that was kind of funny.
That was interesting. Yeah, I thought that was cool. One thing I want to say is all the first 3 American Pie movies. One thing I really liked about the fourth one is you'll understand. It's just funny how I worded it really liked, and then when you hear it, you'll understand why I'm laughing. Is that the first 3 were pretty much, as is normal in most movies, is the implants, the fake
Yeah.
breasts, right? So finally, I thought she was so goddamn ditzy when he first made her. It's so great. It's just like that line where I want you to come so bad.
Yeah.
It's just like
That
she was a
funny.
perfect dumb shit bitch ditz. But one thing I want to comment on, and as I said, I really liked about this one, is we actually have a nice, pair of naturals, which I was like, it's just like, yes, there you go, because, I mean, fake ones, I mean, whatever. I mean, they can look nice and firm and stuff, but naturals are where it's at, and I thought that was great. One thing I liked is, because I liked that environment, was that little scene at the beach and stuff,
Yeah.
and I loved, one thing that was very cool to me about the movie is because on the other movies, the kids were the kids in the other movies, and
Yeah.
one thing I thought was really cool is they're not the kids anymore, and it's
Yeah.
actually very relatable because they're very similar to my age, and it's just like, and the movie's proof that life does not end.
Yeah.
Don't worry about 30 because nothing absolutely happens
No.
unless you get a disease in 30 or whatever. But unless something happens, nothing happens
Yeah.
at 30, and you're no different. I mean, you take it from my dad. I mean, he was 60 whatever, and he felt like he's 18. I mean,
Yeah.
Life doesn't end at 30, or at least that's what they say. And so it was very great from my aspect in that it's like the young people. There's one point where the young people are, they're out on the beach and they're jet
Yeah.
ski 'em, and it's just like, God, we really like that, and the way that Stifler, I like how Stifler gets him back in the one
Yeah.
part where I thought it was very Stifler actually, where he's sitting on the thing and he's going.
Yeah.
I mean, that was actually probably one of the moments where I actually laughed.
Yeah.
I don't really like the fact that was
No.
kind of nasty, but that
Yeah.
fact was
Yeah.
funny. Like he's got to
Yeah.
point that
Yeah.
out. And one of the things that I thought was cool about the relation to the young people and the older people was that he's like at the party or whatever. He's like Stiffmeister, and the kid's like, "Did you just refer to yourself as the Stiffmeister?"
Yeah.
That's so dumb. And it was a cool insight into how it's like the young are the people who are cool just because, or think they're cool
Yeah.
just because they're young, and it's like, no, I mean, I'm the Stiffmeister. And I felt almost like I wanted to defend the Stiffmeister.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
It's,
I liked
it
his
is the
little moment at the
Stiffmeister.
end where he's
What is
like,
it?
where that one dude is just being a dick to, who was it, Oz? I
Oh, that's
think?
right, that's right.
And then
The-
he's
the
like, "What are you
guy's
gonna do? Sue me?"
boyfriend.
Yeah. And then Stifler just goes in and punches him. and he's like, "You can sue me for all I got. I got shit."
Yeah, yeah.
The theater when I saw that, everybody started
I
clapping.
should have,
and I was
God
like,
damn it, I should have saw it in the theater.
I
I
was
was
like-
just so depressed at the time it came out. It was like April or something,
Yeah.
or March or something.
Yeah.
It was like, so many months of winter by that time. I'm just like, I'm just so depressed. You just don't even want to leave the house. I should have seen it in the theater
Yeah, it was worth it.
to hear the.
There are two things I want to cover.
Okay,
one
cover
thing
it.
is the movie starts off kind of like bland. Like, I mean, the opening scene's kind of funny. Then, like, it starts off kind
Well,
of
they
bland.
completely gave away the opening scene
Yeah,
in the trailer, the
exactly.
whole thing.
Yeah, it's bland through most of it, and then the last, like, once the reunion starts, the movie just like picks up and it gets really good. Once the reunion's actually like kicked into gear, and so the last quarter of the movie really saves the whole thing for me, which is why I give it my 3 stars.
Oh, you didn't say stars yet, I don't think.
3 stars. So yeah, there's that. The thing I wanted to cover, I can't believe I haven't mentioned this yet. So, we were talking Stifler, Sean William Scott,
Yeah.
and whatnot. This will be interesting insight for all you people who are watching this here building, because Sean William Scott, native Minnesotan.
Oh, yeah.
His mom used to work in this building, and she worked down there in 1998, and
Down
told
where?
me downstairs in the rental office.
And
Told me when she's like, my son just got cast in 2 movies. I was like, really? And she's like, Final Destination and East Great Falls High. And I was like,
that's what.
and I was like, oh, really? And then she told me later on that it was just going to be called, they're changing the title, they're not sure yet. And then she said it was American Pie. And then I started seeing trailers, and I was like, which one is he? And she's like, he's the one that, like the funny one in the trailers, and whatnot. So then when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's Stifler? That's awesome. And another fun fact is his dad lived in this building too. And so he'd come and visit here, even like into his father lived here until.
Let me guess, you got pictures of.
No, I never.
But they're in storage.
No,
Go ahead,
his
sorry.
father lived here until around 2004-ish, and he would come and visit and whatnot, and everybody in the damn rental office got to meet him, and
Who?
Sean William Scott,
Oh,
because
damn it.
he'd come and visit
Not
his
you.
dad, and I was gone the day he came, and
You
I was
son of a-
like, what? Like, I mean, he'd come a couple of times, but I was gone when it happened. But anyway, yeah, this fun fact for you people watching at home, Sean William Scott has ties to this location.
Has been here.
He might have swam in that pool that you can't see that's obscured by the trees, or played this mini golf that's happening. You never know.
Gosh, Matt, you're full of all kinds of.
But yeah, that's a fun fact about Sean William Scott. Who's an actor I actually quite like. I think he's got a lot of talent, and he gets typecast because of Stifler, which is kind of unfortunate, but he plays that character really well. But I think he could do a lot more. He actually is a good actor. And like seeing a movie like Role Models, where he's kind of playing the same character but more straight than Stifler ever was, like I feel like he actually could do more than he's given.
Probably.
And I would like to see that maybe in the future or something. Now that he's executive producing movies, maybe he can get himself something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you have it. I give it 3. What are you giving it?
I guess 2.5. I guess it ranks up there with part 2 for me. It works for me. And oh, what I was comparing the the 4th American Pie to Scream 4, and I think it's actually higher. If you saw the Scream reviews, for me the stars just keep going lower and lower. But the reason why it is because the thing they stakes. The 4 is actually very similar. I mean, I like it more than 1. And is very similar to the early ones because the early ones weren't that great to begin with. Whereas Scream is like, whoa.
It started. They set the bar high.
Well, Scream, that's the problem. In the beginning, first American Pie doesn't exactly set the bar high. That's why for me, it's kind of a, it's an even thing. I felt like there was much more reason to actually come back with a 4th American Pie than there was. Well, I don't want to get into Scream 4, but I'm just saying that it worked for me bringing them back again. And after American Wedding, I figured we'd never see, and especially not that I've seen any of them, the direct-to-video ones
They're so
afterward.
bad.
I bet Eugene Levy was like, a theater one? Well, because was he in every single one?
He was in all of them.
I bet when they said they're doing one for the theater, he's like, the theater? I'm going to be in the theater again.
It was funny because if you watch those other ones, like the first one follows Matt Stifler's brother, and he goes to band camp because he hears like the women there are loose kind of thing, and he wants to be just like his older brother Stifler. And they mention Steve Stifler a lot throughout the movie, and Eugene Levy is like, "You're Stifler's brother?" There's a lot of connection to the first one. And they mention Jim and Michelle, and the reason that he's working at band camp is because he's subbing in for Michelle's character, who's a music instructor person there. Like she's one of the camp counselors. So I mean, it all sort of makes sense with that first one. Then the second one follows like a cousin of Stifler's, and they start getting loose, and the only connection to the movie is the Stifler name until you get to the 4th one, which was called The Book of Love. Is about the book, the Bible.
Oh, that's right.
And so you finally get a connection to the school again from the first movie and whatnot, and
they're just reaching for.
Yeah, they're just drawing for straws, and it's just the first one and then the Book of Love are the 2 best ones. The 2 in the middle, Naked Mile, and oh my God, Beta House is the worst. Oh my God. But they don't even come close to the quality established in the 4 true pie movies. Band Camp comes close. Band Camp flirts with it and comes really close. Had they had a little script polish or something, it might have worked, but it just.
Had they had a little lube.
There you go. But yeah, so I would like this was intended, much like Scream 4, to be the start of a new trilogy. They want to make another movie which is why you have this setup at the end where Kevin is like, maybe we can do this again, kind of thing. Like their version of to the next step.
Right.
And I'd be like, these characters are just likable people.
Yeah, they can sit around playing Atari, and you can do.
They're just.
It's kind of like Friday 13th for me. It's like just whatever, bring them together, have them do whatever, fine.
Yeah.
I don't care.
So,
it's not a big deal. Just if they're fun to see them, whatever.
Yeah, American Parents. Bring it on. I want to see it.
Well, yeah, American Parents you could do next. Yeah.
Or I don't know where they'd go beyond that, or
like
American Beach Party.
Like they say, American Old Folks Home. You know, in 30 years.
There you go.
All right, are you done?
I'm done.
Thanks for watching, and get yourself a piece.